amazing.
No.
I really do. Yeah. And that just goes to show you have a craft, you've honed it, you know what you're doing.
I must actually be honest about that. There was I actually borrowed that dish from a restaurant in Oslo in Norway called Olivia. So Olivia, if you're watching in Oslo, Norway, thank you very much for that dish. It's a variant of that dish, but it's a gorgonzola blue cheese pasta dish, and it blew my mind when I had it. They were a de facto Italian restaurant, though. They were really good at what they did in terms of Italian food. So we venture carefully into other cuisines like that.
That's a great idea,
we
though.
approach with caution. But when we do things like that, or it's Asian, or it's this, or it's that, we're careful because we know that it's in conflict with our identity, and it's not what people necessarily expect or sometimes want when they're here, And if our server goes up to the table and they're telling people about the special, sometimes you can just see, the boredom over someone's face because they already know what they're having, and it's something that we're really well known for, and they're like, yeah, thank you, but we want, and you're like, that's great.
That's
no problem. That's fine too.
I like that 2 week thing because we have a local restaurant that I'm still trying to hit the right day. They have a black and red fish.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Black and red fish, and you have to look online to see the specials that day.
Yes.
So we found it one day, and she said, "Let's go." So we get there.
We got there late.
Sold out.
Sold out.
It's good.
I'm like,
that's excellent.
It's a good sign when it's sold out, right?
Yeah. So I had other stuff that I did love and enjoy, but I like that 2 week window because you can, or I can go and say, "Hey, I was at the field yesterday.
Yeah.
I had the meatloaf. It was excellent.
Yeah."
And then so-and-so could hear that and come back and it's here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And different things that sell during the week, like today, we're Thursday today, what sells on a Thursday is different that sells on a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday, and a Monday. And, so it's good when you have that cycle. It gives people an opportunity to buy higher end things, lower end things. And we try and have that value and have that higher end thing on the menu too, to give people these options, But good food doesn't have to be expensive. And certainly the food that makes people happiest here is not expensive. It's not the most expensive things. It's sometimes just the best executed things. Right. You're asking me about live events. I'm sorry.
And the quality ingredients.
Quality ingredients, exactly. You're asking me about live events, so just to touch on that. Not as part of the specials, but we really have a set entertainment schedule from Monday through Sunday, and Irish music is core to that. So Ian Miller from the Irish Rovers is with us every Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Ian actually was working for World Caribbean back in 2020, the dark days of the pandemic, and then all the cruise ships stopped, and this is Ian Miller's favorite home away from home. Yeah, so he's a second generation Irish Rover. His dad retired recently from the Irish Rovers. He passed on recently actually too, but he's one of the younger members in the band, and it's a big band, about 8 of them in it or more, and they still do a couple of tours around the world each year, and they record a lot, and they're still very active, but we're very fortunate to have Ian here in 2020 when the world stopped turning for a while, and everyone wanted live entertainment and things to get out of the house, and that wasn't anyone's bingo card. And we realized when we opened the door and people came in looking terrified, wearing masks, going, "Are you open? Can I come in?" And the next question wasn't like, is the kitchen open? It was sort of like, when's the music starting? And, that entertainment is core to our business. So it's what kind of drives people here is that live entertainment experience. And so, I remember Ian was here on one of those days, and he goes, "Jay, I'll hop up and I'll play." I says, "Ian, we don't have any money to pay you. There's only 20 people here, And he goes, "That's okay." So Ian hopped up and we start live streaming him on social media. He put up signs to get tips, and pretty soon his tip bucket was filling from people in New Zealand and Ireland who were quarantined around the world. Wow. And there was only 20 people here with masks on watching Ian play, and the crowd slowly grew and grew and grew. But that's how Ian kind of became to be from a casual part-time entertainer and a regular guest with us to a regular guest, but an even more regular entertainer with us. So he's the core of the entertainment. Aid Peaver is the lead singer from our old house band, Celtic Bridge, who sadly broke up during the pandemic, during that difficult time. But Aid does a solo show every Sunday of Irish music, and he's also in a band called the Banyans, been running for a few years. They just perform with us New Year's Eve, so they're in frequently. And then Brian Wright is a local DJ that runs our trivia events, our Shamrock Comedy Club once a month, and our music bingo that he does at the start and end of the month. So there's always lots of surprising things here when people walk through the doors that keep people entertained. And if you're not into Harry Potter trivia, or Stranger Things trivia, or Dirty Bingo that we just had, or something else that might be a little off color, we have these lovely quaint dining rooms that always offer a nice dining experience.
And now you do any banquets and stuff here?
We don't do large events. We always respect our kind of organic restaurant business. Okay. So if those events don't contravene too much with the organic restaurant business, we've had weddings here for 150 people. That'd be the most we can accommodate in any one area, but it would have to be at a time that it can't be Saturday night. We like we're never going to close ourselves to our public and the local patrons and who are traveling here, just for a restaurant experience, So we're not
doing a lovely job at drawing people in. You really are. Yeah. And I'm amazed. I'm just amazed. You have so much to offer.
Yeah. Well, it's a team sport, and as I say, it takes 1,000 hands to make this little restaurant turn. We've 60 full-time staff, as I said to the gentleman that came in, and it takes a lot of hard work from all those people, down from our Haitian crew of dishwashers who've been with us for years and years. I mean, if I went into how long some of our staff have been here, and they just do a tremendous job every day, showing up smiles on their faces. We're all family, So, and that's what we want. We want everyone to come to work with a smile on their face. And, our staff, we treat like gold, because we know that when we treat our staff like gold, they treat our guests like gold. And that's the most important thing to us, is to...
that's a testament to your management. That's, as a good manager, is part of the good managers keeping that staff. When you see a high turnover, I always took it personal. I don't know how you do, but if somebody quit, I always took it personal. I always felt like they were firing me.
Yeah.
I was like, am I a bad boss? Like, what did I do?
Yeah, well, I'm always happy if people have a better opportunity. We're just losing a chef that, used to be our sous chef here, and has a wealth of experience. He's got this amazing opportunity as an executive chef at another family restaurant of his. And so, bittersweet. Like, I'm so happy for him personally, and I'm so crushed that we're losing such a core team member. But people are moving on for positive things. That's great. And when I feel that in some way that they were unhappy here, it's a big failing on our part. So there's very few of those stories, I feel, and I just feel that sometimes people just organically want to do different things, and life should be interesting. And if it's not interesting to you anymore, if you don't come in here and love it, it's time.
That's true. Yeah.
It's time. And the day I don't get out of bed and want to come in here and serve people shepherd's pies and pick up the phone and talk to people about reservations and parties, and it's a day that I won't do it anymore, because you have to have that love in your heart, because it transfers into everything that you do, the cooking, how clean the dishes are, and how much people want to sit at your bar or hang out at your, we're not trying to turn tables here, No. We're trying to create lasting, memorable experiences for people, which not only involve culinary creations and dishes, but also involve kind of hospitality and, that kind of Irish charm, and that welcome that you just don't really get. We hope you don't get in a lot of American establishments. That's unique to us, is that Irish warmth that just kind of permeates everything, that comes through. I mean, we're not trying to be fussy, we want to be attentive, but
you walk in the door, you feel it.
Yeah, we don't want to be overbearing with people, and we just want them to come and enjoy their time here, because time is precious, right? It's the one thing we can't buy. Yeah. So when people come and they spend time here, that's the most precious thing to us.
I mean, that's like one of the things I was talking about. I hate it. I call it the Chili's mentality. I hate it when you walk in and you got the two teenagers at the front, and you walk in the door, you feel like you just interrupted their conversation.
Yes.
And then they say, how many?
Yeah.
And then they walk over with the menu. Yeah. They throw it on the table and they say, so-and-so is going to be your waiter. You didn't even hear what they said.
Yeah.
Then the waiter comes over and you didn't even get situated. Yeah. What do you have to drink? Yeah. And some places, and I'm not mocking, but some places have a Bible of specialty drinks. Yeah. Now, you as a manager, that's where you make your money. Yeah. So when they sit down and say, what do you have to drink? Yeah. She'll say, club soda. Yeah. Because there's no way, and they just want to push and turn tables. Here, we had a table it was 8, and we were here a long time. I mean, we were here a long time, and nobody ever said.
It's about reading the guests too. We have people that are going to the airport. We do a brisk lunch. You know, people want to get in here. They don't have time to park their car in here. They're like, get me in, get me out. You know, and sure, we'll run it like a diner. We'll drop the check when, you know, just after you kind of got lunch, because we understand that that's the speed that people need at lunch, right? But we understand that as we go into dinner, you know, we're not trying to turn those tables. We're trying to create like an environment for people to mingle and to kind of enjoy time with each other. You know, some people, you know, maybe they don't like the mother-in-law that much, and that time mingling is only going to take it about an hour and 20 minutes, and that's fine. And some people, it's the first date, and they want to spend 4 or 5 hours in a cozy booth alone and getting to know each other, and that's fine too. You know, so we kind of, you know, each to their own, and we try and anticipate what it is the guest needs and let them lead the dance, you know, because we're just providing the platform. So
and you're very, very diverse in your platform too. You could be outside, you could be inside, you could be over here. You could be in that tiny room over there.
Real quick, just go through the seating areas. Okay, so we had front porch that was the original spiced apple.
So we're sitting in the house that was the original spiced apple. Well, the house that was a house first, and the spiced apple turned that into a restaurant. And then on the pub side over here, which is the newer part of the kitchen, in addition to our kitchen as well, which is quite expansive, we have our entertainment area. So the pub side is really hosts all of our live events. So we have a small stage there. And the bar is the centerpiece of all that, you know. So in Ireland, you know, they call it having the crack, you know. So you're having the crack. It's not a legal narcotic. It's an experience of banter, you know, between people. That's a bit self-deprecating, and sometimes it's a little bit deprecating on other people, you know. But whatever it is, it's about having a bit of banter with people, you know, making it fun, you know, and just having a bit of a laugh with people.
It's the smallest bar. So you can actually communicate.
Yeah, well, our bar used to be an atrium when it was a spiced apple, and we converted it into a bar. So it certainly was never meant to be a bar. So we struggled to get 2 bartenders and a bar back there to, you know, to make magic for 400 people on a night. But bar, you can, and it is the heartbeat there. It's the center of things, and it you know, we love the sense of community that kind of creates. You know, we're definitely known as a restaurant with the bar in it, you know, and food drives a lot of, I mean, with alcohol in somewhat decline these days, you know, we're working on a lot more options like non-alcoholic options at the moment, and we've made huge inroads in that already. But you know, we're doubling down on that, and we're kind of dialing into it now, and we're really trying to nail that. That's what we're going to nail in 2026. We're going to have a killer NA cocktail menu, you know, because we don't just want Guinness Zero. Guinness Zero is wonderful, you know, but not everyone likes beer. So what about the cocktail drinker, you know? So it's like, you know, what about the vegan? You know, we're kind of trying to worry, or I try and worry about sometimes the smaller percentage of our audience, because I feel that sometimes they're not really catered to. And
they need attention too.
Absolutely. That sometimes, I mean, not always, but that could lose a table. Where you have like 4 people going, and you say, what do they have there vegan for them? Nothing. You know, what do they have? So that it opens a whole nother field for you.
And a lot of people have trouble digesting foods and that kind of thing. So, you know, you find them going to alternate food type lifestyles. And I think you're covering it pretty well here. Because I know my son is having trouble with certain gluten. Like right now he can't process it. We have a huge number of people who are celiac, gluten-free, be it a medical condition like celiac, or be it just a dietary choice, like, you know, that they're doing paleo diet, or you know, or everything in between. And I mean, we have a menu that certainly caters for every kind of, you know, diet preference or requirement, necessity. And we're happy to do that, and we love to do that, you know, because you know, if there's 8 people at a table, you know, and one person can't eat flour, we'll make sure that, you know, they know what they can get and what's safe to eat, and they're catered to, you know. He explained everything. And he gave all the options and everything. And we were so happy because everybody was just, okay, so we're here, we're having a good time, we're having a celebration, we're not going to go home and be sick. Nothing better than that.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, you could not have anything better than that.
I was going to say the rest of the place, so you have the outside also.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have 150 seats outside. That includes our patio bar at the front. That used to be our front entrance. Well, still kind of is our front entrance, but kind of blocks the front door just a little bit. That was put in 2010 by one of our late owners, Phil McMullen. It's a lovely little space. We used to call that the Nook. And we have it for events and things now. And the banyan trees out there is kind of the center of the restaurant. And then we have a lovely long patio of outdoor dining. You can enjoy a nice sunset outside. And, we're dog friendly inside and out. And,
I heard about the sunset.
It's nice.
I read it a couple of times. People said sit out there and get the sunset.
Yeah, we're not on the water, but there is some nice sunsets that happen on Griffin Road, So, it's
got everything.
And wait, there was a special table out there in the tree.
Yeah, the guests like the banyan tree so much. Our owner Alan, he actually put a tree inside, or a table inside the banyan tree. So some of our guests love to sit inside the tree.
It looks so
quite
romantic.
magical. Yeah. But
magical too, yes.
It does evoke these feelings of being in people come in, they think they're in the Shire.
You're busy working.
In what do they call it, Lord of the Rings, or
like a little
it's like a little hobbit house, and you go, it kind of is, I guess. When you get the big guys from the Miami Heat walking in, they don't fit in here too well. There's a lot of low beams and stuff. They got a duck coming through our little beams, but 6'6" would be probably about the height. Should be the height limitation on the way into the door because the ceilings are low.
3 years ago, I found out every room was deemed a certain way.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's an auto crew, and they're like, this is the cottage, and that's the tack room. I was just like, wow. It actually is like every room is a different
But it's funny how stuff like that doesn't hit sometimes, and I like how people discuss. Like you're here all the time, and you don't realize these things, and then like guests are here, and they walk through, and they discover different things every time they visit, which is neat.
You were here. I told her I got the phone. I said, "Here, go take pictures."
Yeah,
I was like, "Take lots of pictures."
I find new light switches every day. I'm like, what does this do?
Where do you find a false wall? I worked in a place we had a false wall.
We can't tell you that.
We went to
that's a secret. You got to find it for yourself.
They were remodeling the bathroom, and they stopped. They called me down. They knocked a hole in the wall, and when we looked inside, there was another, what used to be an outside wall with a window and a door still in there.
Yeah,
just hidden in there. It was like, wow.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah.
This place is nice though.
Let's check the floorboards too. You never know. I know I used to hide money in floorboards. So.
Yeah.
I think these floors are Miami-Dade pine, right?
Yeah, Dade County pine. I think it's extinct, and if it's not extinct, it's so rare you can't fell them to make floorboards with anymore. But Dade County pine on the floor, and we got lovely knotty cypress on the walls. And we've a lot of plywood around too. Different things that we've finished and restained. We've a fantastic handyman, Mr. Julio Lopez, who really turn his hand to anything, and he does amazing work for us. Very creative, and it's a never-ending task keeping an old building like this going. Believe me, there's always something that requires attention. So each day when you open, it's not just about getting the food and the staff ready for business. Sometimes it's about getting the building ready for the guests to come because something else has a hole in it or is leaking or is not as it should be. So
or fell apart overnight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Things happen quick here.
Yeah.
It's always a new day. That's for sure.
Do you have anything else to add?
Oh, that's you guys.
That's my question. Do you have anything to add that maybe we didn't touch on?
Location, phone number?
We're 3281 Griffin Road. Our phone number is 954-964-5979. You can find us online at thefieldfl.com. And we're at Field Pub on Instagram.
Okay.
Awesome.
Chef, anything to add?
Nothing, that's all. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Lots of food.
I just want to say thank you again for taking the time and for the effort and everything. This has been absolutely amazing. We feel like family.
Yeah.
Just being here and the way you welcomed us and everything.
We spent a bit of time with you today, but in truth, we spend a bit of time with a lot of people who come in and show them around because there's a lot of questions when people come in. Yeah. So, and it can be anything from, how long have you been here to, where should I go in Ireland? You know, and that conversation I've had a lot of them, and they take a while, and sometimes it takes a few visits to the field and a few emails, and, you know, but we always try and, you know, make people feel welcome and, you know, give them just a little bit of information that they leave a little bit surprised with. You know?
I come around the lobby sometimes. I do speak to some of the guests, and some of the guests know me personally now. Right. You know, they give me ideas like, oh, what about some tenderloin tips? You know, I'm like, we'll make it happen. I do. You know, I usually try to accommodate when I'm slow, or say, hey, you come in at 4 o'clock, I'll make sure you get tenderloin tips. Cool. You know, so I usually, you know, if someone came in for pot roast, I'm like, I'll make that one of our pot roast happen. Like, you know, like. We do try to accommodate everybody. That's one of our biggest things here, is just trying to make everything versatile for everyone.
No, I mean, I love like I said, the living menu. I love that.
Yeah.
There's sometimes when it's just the same menu all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and in the kitchen, you know what I mean? You get like,
oh yeah. So every year, me and Jay sit there and we look at the menu, we look at sales, and we look like, what's doing well, what's not doing well, what can we replace it with, what would be great. Like the ham and cheese toasty is something that was brought to me was a dish in a pub. Like, it's like, you just go to Ireland and I guess the pubs have a little ham and cheese toast.
It's like the most popular dish, or when I say popular, the most ubiquitous dish in every Irish pub in Ireland, right, is a ham. Like, so pubs that don't do food do ham and cheese toasties.
Okay.
And they'll serve them with a bag of potato chips, which in Ireland we call crisps, right, which... If you had Irish cheese and onion crisps, that's life-changing. We'll talk about that later.
That's life-changing.
But, you know, the ham and cheese toasty that we do here, there's nothing revolutionary about this. No. It's a grilled cheese with ham, essentially. You know, we do it in a way that'd be quite like what you would get in Ireland, you know, and we serve it with some fries. And it's a big seller. Yeah. And why? Because people love simple things that are done well, you know, that are good value. And it just so happens to be maybe one of the biggest Irish pub dishes in Ireland, as it happens. And it's a little known thing in America, but a ham and cheese toasty is the most Irish thing you could ever get in an Irish pub.
It's like corned beef and cabbage is American.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't know that until I was working here. And I didn't know that either.
And that's something that's not on our menu anymore. And that's because, not because we didn't sell a lot of it, but we sold less and less. Tastes change. So corned beef and cabbage, you know, the older generations more relate to that. But actually, it's not an Irish dish. It's from the Northeast. It comes from the cheapest meat, right? You talked about one you were saying about the boiling things in a pot for many hours, which used to be Irish food, right? Yeah. But corned beef comes from that world of Irish food, which is, you know, meat and potatoes and vegetable, you know, generally overcooked. So we executed a great corned beef and cabbage. But you got to look at the numbers and you say sometimes, okay, something's in decline. It's not as popular. The younger generations order it. They're sometimes a little underwhelmed by it because they have a different expectation, but they order because they feel it's the most Irish thing to order. Yeah. When actually it's a little misguided because it's an Irish American dish and it comes from corned beef being the cheapest meat you could buy from New York City, right? Mm-hmm. So the Jews in New York City had the best way to preserve meat, which was in brine. So they made brisket, they made pastrami, right? And they made corned beef when there was no refrigeration. So that any primal cuts, like, you know, your tenderloins stuff, they were only for the rich because ice was rare, right? So how could you keep meat cold? So if you weren't killing something and eating it there, you weren't eating it because you couldn't keep it cold. But you had to keep it on ice. It was expensive. So the cured meats became popular with the poor. So the Irish people buy the cheapest cured meat you could get, which was corned beef and brine. And that was from the Jewish people up the Northeast in Boston and New York. It's not an Irish thing. And then they bought the cheapest vegetable that you could buy, which was cabbage. And that became the best meal of the week because we were so poor, we could only afford it on Sunday. God knows, we were probably eating, the seafood was cheap back then, right? So we were eating seafood for the rest of the week with vegetables. But corned beef, that became Sunday lunch. And so not that it's not an Irish pub dish, it is now. It is. But it's not really. You go to Ireland, you'll struggle to. They'll have bacon and cabbage, we call it.
Cabbage is amazing. Definitely suggest bacon and cabbage.
But funny, you do some of these dishes and sometimes they don't hit because Americans don't get them or don't relate to them. So we'll do authentic Irish bacon and cabbage, which is like pig's blood and cabbage, you know, like a ham. But it's cured in a different way than your spiral or your brown sugar ham, which is the key. It's the Irish curing. But yeah, you have to respect the market that you're in and the taste that you have. So sometimes we'll do pastas, which hit. Sometimes we'll do Irish stuff, which doesn't. And you just look at those numbers and you kind of go, okay, this is, and often it can be a description because people eat with their eyes. So before they even see it, they're ordering it based on what they think it's going to be like, Now we hope it to live up to their expectation, but they don't know.
As an American out here, bacon and cabbage, I think bacon, like American bacon and cabbage for some reason, it's not even close to being like that. It's like a big chunk of ham. And it has a lot of fat on it. Amazing. Like
the flavors.
Yeah, falls apart. We even ordered it from somewhere from Ireland, I think.
Yeah, we got it. It actually was imported from Ireland via New York. It took a while to figure that out and get it, but it was lovely. We all enjoyed it. Definitely the Irish people here related.
For sure.
I love it. Well, do you have anything else for closing?
Anything you like that?
That's all.
No, that's it.
Right.
Thank you so much, Doris.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for opening up your hearts and your home here.
Yeah.
Thank Jake.
Oh, and thank you, Jake.
Yeah,
thank you, Jake, for turning us
here.
on to this place.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, he's a firefighter, so he knows all the best places to eat.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
He might have seen his patch on the wall over there somewhere, did he?
I believe so.
Did he see that?
Yes.
All right. So
Thank you again. I just want to say thank you guys for coming here and sharing this time with us.
come visit. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.